For 3 years, I built Connor, not just his business, but his confidence, his connections, his entire image. When I met him, he couldn't afford to fix the hole in his shoes. Now, he wears Italian leather, and guess who paid for the first pair? It's me, Busy. I loaned him money when his machines broke down. I skipped my rent once so he could meet a client's deadline. I cooked for him, prayed for him, even helped him rehearse speeches for investors. Every time he said, "You're the reason I'll make it," I believed him. We weren't officially married, but Connor made me believe we were building a life together. Then his business took off, the cars came, the travel connections came, and also the devil named Chioma. I found out about her the day I walked into his office unannounced. She was perched on his desk in a red dress, sipping wine from his glass, while he looked at her like she hung the moon. I asked, "Connor, who is this?" He didn't even flinch. He said, "She is my fiancée and we are getting married in 2 months. The world stopped spinning. I left quietly, but I didn't cry. Not yet. That night, I made a plan. I still had access to his account after all. I had been the one managing his business transactions. Over the next 3 weeks, I carefully redirected certain unimportant funds into my own account, not enough to trigger alarms, but enough to feel like compensation for the 3 years I had wasted. Next, I called 2 of his biggest clients. The ones I had personally brought in, and let them know that I would be starting my own printing firm within days. Both had moved their contracts to me. The final blow came on his wedding day. I wasn't invited, but I didn't need to be. The morning of the ceremony, I posted a long detailed article on my blog titled, "How I Built a Man for Another Woman." I also uploaded screenshots, receipts, pictures. Everything was there. By noon, it was trending. They still got married, but the sponsors pulled out, the investors backed away, and by the end of the month, Connor's business was on its knees. As for me, I opened my own printing shop, bought my own car, and moved into an apartment that didn't leak when it rained. 6 months after Connor's wedding disaster, I had moved on. My new printing shop was booming, my client list was growing, and for the first time in years, I slept peacefully at night. Then one afternoon, as I was looking outside my shop, I saw him. Connor. But not the Connor I once knew. This one was thinner, his designer suit hanging loosely, his shoes dusty. He smiled weakly. He said, "Busy, can we talk?" Against my better judgment, I agreed. We went to a small cafe nearby. He stirred his tea slowly, avoiding my eyes. "Things haven't been easy," he began. "Chioma left and took most of what was left in the account. Business is struggling. I've made mistakes, and I know I hurt you. But maybe we can start over." I sipped my coffee, studying the man who once looked at me as if I was just a tool to climb higher. "Start over?" I asked calmly. "Connor, I don't recycle trash." His face hardened. And he said, "You don't have to be cruel." I leaned forward. "Cruel? Cruel was watching me build you, sacrifice for you, and then watching you marry someone else." I gestured around the shabby cafe. "This is just karma collecting her rent from you. I think you left me for big breast and yansh, the charm and expired and render you nothing." He tried to reach for my hand, but I pulled it back. "Connor, I didn't just close my heart to you. I closed the door, and I threw away the key." I stood, dropped some money for his tea, and walked out without looking back. From the corner of my eye, I could see him staring after me, shoulders slumped, as if finally realizing that the woman he once took for granted was now completely out of reach. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger, I didn't feel pain. I felt free. The next morning, the sun hit differently. I woke up in my apartment with the kind of peace that didn't just sit on my chest, it danced inside my bones. Connor's face, his broken plea, his hollow eyes, they are no longer haunting me. If there would be anything at all, they felt like the final proof that karma always finds her way back home. At the shop, business was booming, orders came in so fast my assistant could barely keep up. Politicians, business owners, event planners, everyone wanted a piece of Busy Prints. And for the first time in years, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see a woman trying to prove her worth, I saw a woman who had become her worth. Busy, I hail myself, I am who God says I am, I refuse to be packed as trash. By evening, when I checked my phone, there it was Connor again, Connor's name lighting up my screen. He said, Busy, please, I can't stop thinking about you. Let me make this right, let me invest in you, also in us. I laughed, a low, dangerous laugh that tasted like victory, the same Connor who once left me for Chioma's glitter. Now begging to sit at my table. No, darling. My table was reserved for kings, not beggars. Like you. I did not reply, instead, I scrolled to another chat. Deli is another man who had been patient, watching me heal, never pushing, never demanding, just being there. His text from last night was still sitting there. He said, I can't wait to see you again, Friday. My fingers didn't hesitate this time. I replied. Yes, and Deli, don't keep me waiting. Friday came, he picked me up in a crisp shirt that clung to his broad shoulders, his cologne filling the car before he even spoke. Over dinner, we laughed like teenagers, the kind of laughter that makes the world blur, but it was the way he looked at me like I was a masterpiece only he had the privilege to admire, that set my skin on fire. When he walked me to my door, his hand brushed mine. I should have said goodbye there, but instead, I leaned in, close enough to feel his breath on my lips. Busy, he whispered, his voice rough, like he was holding back. I said, don't hold back. And just like that, his lips crashed into mine. It wasn't the desperate kiss of a man trying to own me, it was the consuming kiss of a man who already knew I belonged only to myself but wanted to share in that fire. As his hands traced the curve of my waist, I realized something. Connor could beg 1,000 times, cry a river, or even crawl on his knees. It wouldn't matter, because I wasn't the same Busy anymore. This was my rebirth, my empire, my desire. And for once, I wasn't afraid to take exactly what I wanted. Connor's messages kept coming, long paragraphs, apologies, promises, desperation. I did not block him, no, blocking would have been too merciful. I wanted him to see that I had read his pleas, that I was alive, thriving, and far beyond his reach. Silence was my weapon, and it sliced deeper than any insult. One afternoon, as I was approving a major printing contract for a governor's campaign, Connor showed up at my shop. He wasn't in a sleek car anymore, just a battered Toyota that coughed black smoke as it parked. My staff shifted uncomfortably, but I told them, let him in. He walked in, shoulders hunched, trying to wear that old confidence like a torn suit. Busy, please, hear me out. I crossed my legs, leaned back in my office chair, and let him drown in the silence before I spoke. Connor, do you see this? I pointed around the office, the glass walls, the buzzing printers, the staff in branded uniforms. This is what I built while you were busy destroying yourself. He opened his mouth, but I cut him off with a sharp smile. You had me, the real asset, the gold, but you gambled me away for glitter, and now you want to come back, dragging your empty pockets and broken pride. No, Connor, this throne doesn't take back beggars. His eyes watered. Busy, I have lost everything. Good. Busy leaned forward, my voice a dagger wrapped in silk. Now you know how it feels to be discarded. I stood, smoothing down my dress, towering over him, though I didn't need heels for that. The difference between us, Connor, is simple. You needed me to rise, I never needed you. And now, I'm soaring while you're choking on your own dust. He tried to reach for me again, but my security stepped in, gently but firmly escorting him out. From my office window, I watched him shuffle back to his rusted car, shoulders heavy, his once proud frame collapsing under the weight of regret. And me. I felt no pity, no pain, only power. I needed to revenge. Connor trashed me. Because the sweetest revenge was not in shouting or fighting, it was in thriving, in becoming the kind of woman he could never touch again, not even in his dreams. That night, as I stood on my balcony overlooking the city lights, a glass of wine in my hand, I whispered to myself, I am not just free. I am untouchable. And for the first time, I realized Connor's downfall wasn't my closure, my success turned to his punishment. Weeks passed, and Connor's messages dried up. I thought that was the end of it, until one evening at a high-profile business gathering I saw him again. The event was filled with politicians, CEOs, and other important people, the same kind of people Connor once paraded me around to impress. But this time, I am anyone's shadow. I am the star. My company had been contracted to handle the entire event branding, from the stage backdrop to the golden invitations that glittered in every hand. As I stood near the stage, speaking with the governor's aide, I felt his eyes on me, Connor. But he wasn't in a tailored suit anymore. His blazer was wrinkled, his shoes scuffed. He looked like a ghost drifting through a world he does not belong any longer. When our eyes met, I didn't look away. I wanted him to see me radiant, unshaken, thriving in the very circles he once tried to keep me out of. Later, as I was about to leave, he cornered me near the entrance. His voice cracked as he spoke. Busy, now I see. I had gold in my hands, but I treated it like dust. You fed me, built me, gave me wings, and I beat the very hand that lifted me. And now, he swallowed hard, eyes glistening, now I am nothing. For a moment, I studied him. The man who once stood so tall was now bent under the weight of his own choices. Connor, I said softly, life is a table. You eat what you serve. You chose betrayal, greed, and pride, and now you are tasting their bitterness. He lowered his gaze, tears threatening to spill. Busy, forgive me. I sighed, not in pity, but in closure. I forgave you a long time ago, Connor, not for you but for me, but forgiveness is not the same as restoration. You can't bite the hand that fed you and expect it to feed you again. I walked past him, my heels clicking like a drumbeat of finality. Outside, the night air was cool, and the city lights sparkled as if the universe itself was celebrating my victory. Moral lesson. Men. Women are not meant to be treated like a trash. Chioma has only come as devil to destroy Connor, just within the space of some months. Never bite the hand that feeds you. Gratitude keeps doors open, but betrayal shuts them forever. What you take for granted today may be the very thing you will need tomorrow, and by the time you realize it, it might be gone for good. If you find this story interesting, do well to like, comment and subscribe. Your satisfaction is Tito Stories and Tales concern. We hope to bring you more interesting and captivating stories. Bye and see you in my next video.